Hi, my name is Katie Sweetman, and this is your look at the astrology of 2022. I'm thinking that this is going to be approximately 2-hour webinar. Typically, I say 90 minutes, but I've just noticed that I have a tendency to go a little bit longer. So my name again is Katie Sweetman. I'm with Empowering Astrology, empoweringastrology.com. I know many of you that are watching this webinar already know my work and you've participated on previous webinars. And today, as I record this, it's December 18th, 2021. So we are coming to the end of quite a year. I don't know how 2021 was for you all. Again, my name is Katie Sweetman. I'm an astrologer and psychic medium living here in the New York City area. I actually live in Jersey City, New Jersey, just right outside Manhattan. I created Empowering Astrology in 2010 to show people how astrology plus consciousness can help us live better, more soulful lives. Something that you've heard me say over and over again, perhaps, maybe you're new to my work, is that the astrology is 50%. You are the other 50%. Each and every one of us is going to experience the astrology of 2022 differently. Hang on, I just want to just make sure I'm not missing anybody in the, get my thought back. So you've heard me say the astrology is 50% and you're the other 50%, and we're all going to experience this differently. But there are these sort of common threads that we're all going to experience and integrate these experiences in our own way, depending on our own astrology, but also our consciousness, meaning our self-awareness, our ability to work with this energy, to grow and to transform through this energy. This is just the basic agenda for those that are maybe watching the replay and want to have a sense of structure. So we would do the introduction. As above, so below. So maybe this phrase is new to you, maybe it's not new to you, but it's a phrase that we hear often in astrology. This idea that whatever is happening in the heavens above is also happening below. I think it's important to start off with this point because you are the astrology is you. Even though I talk about that astrology is something that you inhabit, but there is this micro macro experience that's happening in 2020, all the time, not just 2022, but all throughout our lives. So when we sort of reflect back on 2021, we see how some of the seismic astrology has reflected both externally and internally in our lives. So shifting realities. I think as we go into 2022, it's very similar to what we've been experiencing throughout 2021, is that we are in the midst of shifting realities. Down looks up, up looks down. The things that we thought would never change perhaps are changing. And we could say, well, why is this happening? Well, above, the above part, the astrology part, is that throughout 2021, and it's still continuing to some degree in 2022, Saturn and Uranus are making something called a square. Square is a 90-degree angle. So this is a little bit of a tangent. There's sort of this conventional wisdom in astrology that squares are bad. They're not bad. The square energy is about manifestation. Everything happens in the square. Sometimes we think, things are going to happen with the trine, but you need that square energy to make something happen. But the energy of Saturn and Uranus are in a way very different, and they have very different agendas. So what's manifesting? We have the structures of our lives, Saturn, we have the things, our systems, our networks, the stuff that's been sort of locked down and fixed. That's changing because it's been in this tight square with Uranus. And so maybe you can look back at your own life throughout 2021, and you've seen how your own reality has shifted. Saturn is in Aquarius right now, and it doesn't leave Aquarius until March of 2023. So this is still a big note with us in 2022. Aquarius is one of the last signs of the zodiac. It's the second to last of the sign of the zodiac. And when you get to Aquarius, we're starting to get broader and broader and broader perspectives and views. It's not about the individual, it's about the collective, it's about humanity and society. And certainly, and you can go back even to 2020 when Saturn first dipped into Aquarius from March until July of 2020, that we were really seeing things from a global perspective. We were suddenly aware that we were all connected. But also the other side of Aquarius is showing us where we are disconnected, where we need to put old systems back into balance and harmony, both on a collective level, but there is a personal element. How have your social, how has your social network changed since 2020? Do you have the same friends? Have you had to work to reach to build community in a way that, because of the global pandemic, we've had to do things very differently? Are you more socially aware? Are you aware of how your action and your choices affect the collective of humanity? So this is why in this image, it's a NASA image of all the different lights that connect cities and roadways. But that's, as above, so below, with this idea that we're all connected. And I always like to look at this sort of imagery because it makes me think of neurons and synapses and things that sort of connect in that way. And everything is the macrocosm is the microcosm. Money and finance. Why money and finance? Because in 2022, the lunar nodes switch signs, and they're going to go into Taurus and Scorpio, and there's going to be a big focus on money. Scorpio and Taurus are two of the money signs. We've been doing Gemini and Sag the past 18 months. Gemini and Sag are the learning signs, the signs of ideas and information and communication and travel. But now it's about stability, money, finance, fertility, and the things that we own and the things that we need. So whenever I sit down and I look ahead at the year, I always look at the major nodes. So what are the major nodes? We have, where's Saturn? Wherever Saturn is talks about the major structure of what we are collectively and individually working through. Saturn has been in one area of your chart since 2020, 2021, and that's been a major focal point for you. And that's something that when we go in our sign by sign look, you'll see. But then there's the nodes, and I alluded to this in the last slide. The lunar nodes switch signs. So where are the lunar nodes going? That's where the eclipses happen. The lunar nodes and the eclipses, they go hand in hand. The lunar nodes make eclipses happen. And then major planetary configurations. So in 2022, we don't have the exact Saturn-Uranus square that we had in 2021, but it's still, as we would say in astrology, it's still an orb. So that in a way is a major planetary configuration, but it's the dominant one. We're not going to see other planetary configurations until 2023. Again, the lunar nodes switch signs, and that is our marquee event. Everything else sort of is carrying over from 2020, 2021, but the lunar nodes changing signs in a way, but not in a way, and we'll get into this in just a moment, really show what there is going to be a shift in the story compared to 2020, 2021.